Morning, guys. Johnny here, Mr. Forex Fire. So we're going to come in and reset some of these zones. We've got some zones that are still active, I do believe, with regards to the swing patterns, that is. So we'll get into those as well. So let's just jump straight into this, to be fair, over the shoulder view on what we're doing. So what we're looking at is reset of some of the zones. But first of all, we'll go into the ones that are still between the setups. Okay, I'm just going to take off this harmonics thing for now because this is something I'm working upon as well. So let's take a look. So we've got the CAD-JPY. Happy with what we're seeing in there. I'm going to keep it as is. These are the ones that haven't triggered this week. We've got the 4 hour zones, so I need to update this, the Euro USD. We'll just go into the alerts. We'll look for the Euro USD. It was the one came set up. Right, so I need a 4 hour Euro USD. Go into alerts, Euro USD, that's the harmonics. I need a sell zone, a 4 hour sell. So if we go into this, alert that. Okay, we'll get the message in the JSON. Just going to put this light on a moment, guys. All right, so we're just going to copy that. And again, this is just the message which triggers this setup here. Okay, so again, we're just going to go into here. We change that to Euro USD. Check this here. Okay, so this should be going into the Discord 6p. I just need to go up into this area here. Go to my tools area. This would be the 4 hour zones, alerts. I need to get the webhook. Integrations, webhook. Copy webhook. And then we'll come back into here. Right, so we'll create that. So that's created that. What we need to do as well, look at the Euro GBP. We'll keep those zones there. The GBP JPY, we'll keep those zones and the alerts are there. The GBP USD, yeah, we'll keep that. And yeah, we've got alerts on there. So now we're going to go into the resetting of zones. Okay, so generally what these consist of, excuse me, we need to look for liquidity areas. Okay, so again, I'm going to be looking at most certainly this area here. And the reason why I'm picking this area here is solely because we've had an engulfing candle outside of this zone. So there's a draw on liquidity there. So that's going to become a 4 hour bull zone, okay? And we'll just put the alignment to the right. Now to the left, we've got liquidity here. We've got liquidity there. But I also just want to put this just above here a minute. And just look into this, right? So we've got fair value here. And I think I'd be happy with putting this around there. We'll just see how we're going on here. Right, so we tapped into it here. We've tapped into it there, so I want to make this a little bit higher up, maybe put it up into here. Get rid of that standpoint there, that liquidity pool there, because this is where it came to double top. So when we look at this, we've double topped on here. So we've got liquidity based along this order block here. So again, if we just get rid of that, and when I come to do my liquidity zones, I like to have a bit of space between stuff. So this will be a new zone as well. We'll class this as our 4-hour bear zone, and again, put the alignment to the right. Okay, so the plan is when we do that, before we go into any alerts, we just tick these off from the patterns. Now, where it says pattern, this is where things have triggered. Okay, so we're going to go to the USD card now. We're going to reset this. So we can see here again, okay, what we see is an engulfing move away from the structure of this. Made a high, a high, a high, a low, high, a high. And now what we are stuck between that zone and that zone. So we're within the zone of this driven price where we broke structure. Okay, so at the moment, I'm going to reduce this one down to here. And where we see prices stalling, we could have a trigger point from this area here, okay? If we violate, we'd look for a retest and breakdown, which is what we go over on violation setups. So this one here at the moment for me will become my bull zone for next week. And we'll just set that up, okay? Now, I just want to go into this. I'm going to place that on the liquidity high of that point there. And I want to look left to see what's over here. Right, so we've got an area here which is like a drive down, a little bit of a pullback. We do have some fair value here where we could get a tap in as well, to be fair. The next step up from that on a draw of liquidity, there's price efficiency pretty well. So there's an order block here and there's obviously a block there. So for me, personally, I'm going to use this fair value gap, to be fair. We don't always have to use order blocks. Again, because we've got good price efficiency here, this could just be where price is going to come back up and tap into. Okay, so just going to draw this out and get rid of this here. And now we can sort of look at where we are movement wise. So we're a good 54 pips there and a good 90 up. So we could get a good trigger on this next week, to be fair. So again, we just come in and we're just going to say, right, that's going to be my bear zone. And then put the alignment over to the right, get rid of this, get rid of this. And that's that one set. And then we come back in and we will revisit this for setups. So again, we'll just reset the zones for where we are. Let's take a look on, excuse me, let's get the pointer out. We've got high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows. We've took liquidity out on the left-hand side down from here, okay? We do have the tippy top here, which is tapping into an order block here. So my draw on liquidity for me at the moment is this here. We come down, tap into these. You've got imbalance as well of fair value right here. But I think if we come down and drive down into these areas, we've also got fair value underneath that, which is residing right here. So POIs, there's a huge draw on liquidity to the downside at the moment, even though that this has been bullish through last week, okay? So I'm going to bring my zone down to here. Bring my zone down to here, my point of interest, because like I say, you let price come to you rather than you chase price. So I'm just going to say, right, that's my interest for a possible buy, because at the end of the day, if price is going to break down and through this area, okay? So like I say, price is going to break down and through this area, it's going to retest and want to go lower to the downside. Okay, so like I say, we've got our liquidity pool. We've broken above here. At the moment, we are sort of channeling up here. And now we just need to concentrate and we know this is where it sort of came to. Where's the drawn liquidity to the top side? Well, we'll look at the liquidity here. We've got this here swept, okay? This here had swept. Uh, so for me, if we look a bit further to the left of the tippy tops of these, like I say, we've got liquidity down here. We look a bit more to the left, I'll be more inclined to that sort of area there. That we have tapped into it. Price efficiency where we've driven down and broken up down through here. This here, excuse me, this here, there is a bit of a fair value, but this came up and met through it with regards to that there, to that there. We can see we swept through this bit here. And then there's no other fair values here. So the order block up on this top side. So we tapped into this a couple of times, to be fair. So for me, I'll probably look at this area again, to be fair. So again, I'm just going to get rid of some of this noise. Get rid of some of this. And you've just got to practice drawing out your basic liquidity stuff. Where is liquidity at? Where it's been taken? Where has it been swept? And I'll have this around about here. This I'll set up as my 4-hour bear zone. Move that over to the right. We'll do that. We'll do that. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Basic stuff, guys. Okay, we'll do the measurements. So price, 300 odd pips, 300. So that one might run into the week after as well, to be fair. Depending on what news comes out. GBP cards, let's get this reset. Right, so massive push up. We pulled out of this liquidity here. We've tippy topped out of that there. So again, the next thing would be we're going to search for this up here if it's going to continue with the drive up. Okay, so again, I'm just going to measure from where we are down to that bottom 166. Just going to choose out this level here and see that's my bear zone or my bull zone, sorry. And then I'm going to check to see what's on this left-hand side, if anything at all. And it's quite a way back, to be fair. So, this is interesting. I think what I would choose in this instance is that there. We're probably going to get an instant setup, to be fair, on this. 60 pips or so. I'm just going to get rid of that, get rid of this. This here then becomes the bear zone for next week. Okay, we're just covering the liquidity inside of here. Because when you look at this, okay, where that wick is, when you go down into lower time frames, you see liquidity and maybe some price inefficiency. So that's pretty tight, to be fair. And there's not much in way of inefficiency in that, to be honest. So it's been met here. Fair value, it's been tapped into. Fair value's been tapped into. Maybe a little bit of fair value here. That area there. Let's see if we're tapped back into that or not. 15 minutes. No, we didn't. Right, so we can maybe have that area as the setup. Go back into the 4-hour. And I'm happy with that. We'll get rid of this. Get rid of that. So we'll go to the Euro card now. Again, let's get rid of some of this setup. Right, we've got price and efficiency right here in the way of fair value. Okay, so it's fair value here. There's no real inefficiency below this area. So if we get a break down here, test and test on here to then push back up because we are very much bullish in the nature of the way price is moving at the minute. Okay, let's take a look at this. So I'm going to move, get a measurement of price here down to this 115. I'm going to move this down into here. What's the size of that zone? 50 odd pips. I'm going to bring this down, maybe tap it into here. Right, so this here is going to be my bull zone. Set that off to the right. I'm just going to place that in the top of here, and I just want to see what's over to the left here. So it's the same as the GBP CAD, to be fair, the moving more or less the same. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And we might end up with a violation set up on these, to be fair. We'll just add this into here and we'll see if that's our 4-hour bear zone. Move that over to the right. And that's our setup. I need to draw the alert systems now, but with that being said, we're going to go and take a look at the daily. So the daily we were looking at last week, okay? So the daily swing, you're looking at a daily TP3, so that's TP3, TP2, TP1, and then 15-minute would be the entry system, okay? Did we come in and get it? We were about a pip off from an entry, to be fair. So again, this is going to be dangerous going into next week because the market could open in some silly positions. We just see missed out on an entry on this one by about 4 pips. I'm going to keep this one live as where it is at the moment. And I also have a monthly. So the first monthly came in. Okay, the first monthly came in. And on the monthly, we do monthly target for TP3, weekly target for TP2, daily target for TP1, 4-hour entry system. So if we open this up, okay. So on this 4-hour entry system, I did do the thing in our Discord. Okay, we just click out of this. I go into the daily fire chat where I do daily annotations and everything on setups. We were looking at this. So this was the projected thing for the month for the CAD Swiss franc. I said price, I'm expecting to come up through here and doing a break of structure, come down and retest it, and then we go for these targets. So you can see where the swing point is here. Okay, let's look at price. Look what's doing. It's following the path. Like I said, you've got to be in it to win it. Like I said, this is where I'm expecting this being a monthly swing. It could take another week before this price actually does what I want it to do and break the structure and change its direction before we come back down into an entry system. So this one is behaving as it should. So we'll just leave this one live as it is. Okay. So we're going to go back into these euro odds. And what we're going to do is set the alarms. Okay, so again, what we do for now on this bit, we come into the area, we go into the fire zones. Okay, so we're doing the 4-hour resets. The first one we are resetting is euro odd. So we'll just go through the system. We'll look for euro odd on the previous. So what we're doing is we're getting the notation. We'll copy the notation over, okay? And then what we're doing is we'll go from the bull zone up to the bear zone. So we're just getting a hold of this, we'll copy the price, we'll come back in. So that's the bottom of the bull zone, top of the bull zone. And this is what I do week on week, guys. Bottom of the bear zone. And then we get the top of the bear zone, okay? Right, so we then need to get the alerts. So we're going into the alerts now, and we're looking for a 4 hour bull zone, 4 hour sell. That's the logs. So 4 hours, 4 hour buy. Sorry, so we're looking for a 4 hour buy. And so we just delete all inactive. Okay, we want the 4 hour buy. So we're getting this. And we're just going to copy the JSON because this is a JSON, and the JSON triggers this into the alert system here. Okay, so we're just getting this. We're going to copy that. We're going into the euro ord, paste it, change that to euro ord. Possible buy, come into the notifications. We need to make sure the JSON is correct. So again, that means coming into the zone alerts, coming into this, integrations, webhook, and copy that webhook, come out of that, come back into the 4 hour zones where we still got this here. We're going to get this, copy it into their message, and then we create. Okay. We then going to do the same with the bear zone. So we're going to add an alert. So we're looking for a possible sell, 4 hour possible sell. Again, getting the message with a message in here. Euro odd. Possible sell. Create that in there. We're going to take the annotation of that. Okay, the annotation, and then we're just going to add this into here. So that's updated there. We then need to see that it's there. Yes, it's there. We need to go up and go the euro odd, need to find it, and we'll delete the old one off. Okay, we're going to come back in, and I'll put the euro odd back up here, and then we're going to go to the USD card. USD card, let's see where we are. Get the notation. Copy it into here, and then we're just going to copy the price of the bull zone, get the top end of the bull zone. Then we'll get the bottom of the bear zone. Top of the bear zone. Yeah, I'll quickly get the annotation. And then I'll just quickly put this in here. There's the annotation. So we update that. I'll go back up to that USD card up here, and I'll delete the old one. Okay, I can then do the alert on here. Come into this, I just simply get the buy. USD card. And so that's here daily. So this here should be 4 hour. So update that. This as well is a 4 hour. It's a 4 hour. I need to go into the cell now, so add an alert. USD card. A 4 hour possible sell, we'll paste down there, we'll create that. We do that, and then I move the USD character here. 3 more to go. So the GBP odds is next. So we'll just come into here. We'll look for GBP odds. Get its notation. And then we're copying the bull zone bottom. Bull zone top. Get the bear zone. And then again, we get its annotation. We come into here, we add the annotation into here. Okay, so that's the GBP odd. Need to go for the GBP odd old one. GBP odd, we'll delete the older one. And then I just need to do the zones. So again, add the alert on the zone. So a 4 hour possible buy. Okay, so again, create. And then we need add the alert on the cell. Up there, we need to change to the GBP. GBP odd. GBP odd. Getting carried away now. So that's saved. Get rid of this. We need to do the cell. So again, copy that. Get this correct, John. That's the buy, man. It's the sell we need, sorry. So we'll get that. Copy that. Add the alert. GBP odd possible sell. copy that. We'll do that there, create. Okay, so again, we'll come back into this. We've got the GBP odd done. I can put this up into here. We've got two more left. So again, copy the price of the bulls on bottom of the GBP card. And although we can't copy the price yet because we need to do the notation. So the GBP card bull zone, bottom price. Top price. Get the bear zone. Top of the bear zone. Okay, so do that. Get the annotation. Copy this into here. Into the GBP card. Post that. So we'll get rid of that GBP card there. And now it's something as simple as add an alert. So the GBP odd buy. We'll just change out the GBP card. GBP card. Copy that. That's that. And then we're looking at the alert for the sell. GBP card possible sell. Create that, come back into this, and then we put this, the GBP card up here, and then we've got one more to reset, guys. Okay, so this is the Euro card. Let's have a look for Euro card. Get the annotation, do this, copy that. Delete that message, so it's done. Let's get the annotation. So again, copy the price. Bull zone. Top of the bull zone. Bottom of the bear zone. Top of the bear zone. Add the file. That is that. And that is that updated. From there, we just need to go down and do our emojis. So again, this is just to tell me that if people are following and watching this within the Discord. And then I need to set the alarms on that one as well, to be fair. And then what we'll do is we'll go through and look at the full reset on the alarms to see if the alarms are set. So again, set the alert. Go in here, we need a possible buy. So again, go to that, go into message, go into this. That's the euro card. That's the possible buy. We'll create that. The alert. We'll go for the possible sell. Euro card. Possible sell point. And that's everything created, guys. So at this stage, what I generally do, I will go and check all my alerts have got zones. The zones have got alerts. So we've got CAD We're looking for the two dotted lines. Okay, yes, 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 yes. So those are the 4 hour zones set. We've got the 4 hour zones set. We're going into the daily. Okay, so we'll go at the daily, check the daily. 2 lines, yes, we've got the alerts. We've got 4 lines here. We'll delete one off. And then the daily on here, yes. Again, we've got the daily swing pattern, which is there from last week. Okay, so again, we'll leave that alone. We're going to go at the weekly, check the weekly zones. So I've got a doubler here as well, so we'll get rid of one of them. We'll go into audio SD, 2 lines. Have we got the alerts for two? 1 line, because that one is an all-time high. Euro NZD, double line. GBP, Swiss franc, double line. So we're going to go into the monthly and check our monthlies. Double line, double line, double line. And then we've got our monthly pattern. So we've got 2 patterns which are live from this week just gone. Okay. And that's it for my zones for this week, guys. Again, this has been the over-the-shoulder view. Everything's all updated in here. Okay, the zones and everything. We do this every weekend, week on week. So we've got our 4 hour zones. We've got our daily zones in here as well. We've got our monthly. The zone alerts all come inside of here, so we can reset these. These come in, and as soon as these trace into here, what I generally do is I'll do a breakdown and analysis, which I'll show you in a moment as well for the guys that are new or the guys that are watching from outside. So we've got this set up ready for next week. Whenever an alert comes in, I'll generally come in and I'll do what we call a fire chat. So I do full down breakdown analysis with video. I'll give an annotation of what I'm expecting for price and what we're doing projected pathwise. And then I'll also do updates with regards to when a trade goes in our favor. Let's come in here. Let's just show you some examples. So you can see I'll do updates of what's been happening with price when we get the setups. Okay. So that's just a sneak peek for the guys that are outside. Again, we've got the fire zones, which is what this is called. So the fire zones is the 4 hour zones. And then we've got the fire swings, which is also inside of the fire zones. Okay. I do have the fire sessions. Again, I've touched base on this. We've done 7% on this one late last week. We had 3 or 4 trades came in. And the good thing about the fire sessions, guys, is we've done this since March of this year, and the total growth's been 121%. Okay. So that's it for the over the shoulder view for what's happened through the week. showing you what I do when I reset the zones. And the basis of doing this is simply to stop over trading. I will only be at the chart when I get a trigger point of my point of interest. So again, I'm not chasing an entry. I will only ever look for an entry once I get the trigger on my point of interest. Okay, that's it for the reset of this weekend. I'll see you inside the Discord. If you're not inside the Discord and you've watched this from outside and you want to get in on how I trade these point of interests with the patterns we use, just reach out to me and I'll see you inside the Discord.